Tonight's guest is proof positive that true prosperity starts within. She's faced loss, found purpose, and built brands that inspire confidence and balance. And you're about to hear a true story of resilience and radiant living. Are you ready? If not, you better get ready.
Here we go! Nicole Johnson, Nicole Johnson, Nicole Johnson. Let's go!
And thank you so much for joining me in this episode of Prosperity Conversations. I am the Nicole Johnson, and tonight's guest is Christina Flach. Listen, we always get tongue tied when we get into the important part. Christina Flach, a celebrity makeup artist, beauty entrepreneur, and wellness advocate whose journey is rooted in faith, reinvention, and purpose. Christina, thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. I love your music before. It's so fancy.
Thank you. Yes, it was a donation from the guy who is normally my DJ at my events. And so it was a surprise. And what I find is that when you do good in the neighborhood, people do reciprocate and give you little
Absolutely.
gifts. So your gift to us tonight is being here. I want to thank you so much for being here. And as the founder and CEO of Pretty Girl Makeup and ITB Wellness and the host of the I'm Too Busy podcast, you have built a career that helps others live beautifully, even in life's busy seasons. So let's go on and dive right in. So, first of
Okay.
all, welcome, Christina. I'm glad that you're here.
Thank you again for
And
having me.
yes, and let's start where we always do. When you think about the word prosperity, share with the audience, what does it mean to you personally?
I think prosperity obviously means, not really having financial worries, but also inner emotional, like emotional prosperity. That means to
Yes.
me that you're at peace, you're happy, you have a life that's balanced and full. So that's what it means to me.
And so over your career, okay, over your career, how have you found ways to identify prosperity with the things that you've had to overcome? And share with us what some of those battles may have been.
Oh my gosh. Well, my son Bo passed away on Christmas Day when he was four and a
Oh,
half months old. And then my husband passed away in March of 2018. And then obviously the pandemic and all of that craziness. And so, I've had definite bumps in the road, but I feel that I've been incredibly blessed with my children and my work that I love. And just staying focused in my lane of what I do. I've had to do consulting jobs during the pandemic because my company was making no money. It hasn't always been roses and champagne. So I think that I just try to be grateful for what I have and not for what I don't have. And just staying focused on the end game and not worrying about all the stuff that happens. Sometimes these things that we feel are happening to us are happening for us. Obviously, I don't feel like the loss of my husband and my son
right,
was for me,
right.
but I do feel like the other, things in life that happen are, it means turn left instead of right. And I don't think these things are always happening to you. I think many times they happen for you. So if you can have that attitude, life isn't quite so daunting, I think.
Oh, Christina, that is powerful, because I can't imagine. Like, I had a health scare leading into the pandemic. Like, right at the end of 2019, they were still trying to figure out what was happening. And so I can only imagine losing your son, then your husband, and then the pandemic, full isolation. May I ask, what was something that I know you talked about the focus but what inside of you, what was the push to say, Christina, you got to keep going. You just have to keep going. What was that push?
My other children. they'd suffered enough. And, if I go off the deep end, it's not going to help them at all. So I had to keep my head on straight and stay focused and try and deal with these situations with as much grace and dignity as I could muster up at the time.
Yes, I love that. Sometimes we have to keep the focus off of us and put that on others so that we can keep moving forward. And that is such a powerful story. And I think that many people can absolutely relate to that. Um, because when you've lost like that, you can get very fearful, very afraid, very wrapped into yourself. I'm sure your children appreciated that mom was still here and focused on us. Now, tell me about. I'm curious to hear about this beauty and wellness in this podcast. I'm too busy. How did that come about?
The makeup or the podcast?
The podcast.
The
And this
podcast. I was
is
asked, I'm a beauty expert on NBC, on California Live. So I started doing that. And then this company in New York contacted me and said, we've kind of been watching you for a little bit. We're looking for someone in your demographic that knows beauty and wellness, and we would love you to have your own show. And I thought, normally my reaction would be absolutely not. But my TV husband that I am on TV with, he said, look, you've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. This is everything you know. You talk to people all day long. And it's almost like having my own show, having my clients in my chair.
right.
Except there's no cameras. And I always thought, God, if I could just have a show with just my clients, like this would be great. And so it just kind of happened like that. And I have interviewed a bunch of my clients, and I'm hoping to interview more of them, but different entrepreneurs, different people in the beauty and wellness space. I started I'm Too Busy skincare. It's launching in 2026, but I'm Too Busy skincare and makeup, and ITB Wellness, which is a supplement company. I've been talking about gut health and beauty from the inside out forever. And so it was like a natural thing for me to come up with this supplement to actually, it'll make your skin look better because you have good gut health. Good gut health means you're going to have good skin. And so it's just going to only make the skincare products more effective and the makeup look better because your gut health is really healthy, which means your skin is really clear, which is a lot of it. So I started doing that, and then I just started interviewing people. And then now I'm interviewing people all the time about beauty and wellness, being an entrepreneur, gut health, different celebrities. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm sure you enjoy it interviewing. I just think it's fascinating. I love people, and I love hearing everyone's got a story, as you know. And they don't have to be famous. Everyone's got some journey that they've taken. And so that's the kind of people that I interview on I'm Too Busy.
And so, if I was someone in the audience watching this podcast interview or listening right now, and I wanted to know how I could take advantage of sharing my story, and how can I get with Christina and tell my story, how would they go about doing that?
They just need to send an email to us, and we'll consider different people, send a bio and a headshot, and we will, if we think it's a good fit for us, we'll send you a link to schedule. We tape every Thursday. I tape 2 shows every Thursday at 12 and 1:15 Pacific Standard Time. So
Absolutely, that's wonderful. So, Christina, let me ask you this. When I'm starting to look at the things that my business has started to do for my lifestyle, right? And of course, first, when people hear prosperity, they think money. Now, don't get us wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with the money, okay? But share with the audience, share with me, what has your lifestyle, what has it done for you? What has it done for your children? And if I was listening and wanted to know, am I really going to take this leap and do this full time? What would you say to me?
This is what I even tell my children. Figure out what you love doing so much that you would do it for free, and then figure out how to get paid. because being an entrepreneur is so much harder, costs so much more than you think. And if you don't really love what you're doing, you're going to fail. You're going to resent it because it takes much more time, effort, and money than you could possibly imagine. And I think you'll enjoy it. I mean, I think the reason I've had the successes I have is that I really enjoy all the different aspects of my career. I write for different magazines as a beauty and wellness expert. I'm Too Busy, the skincare line, the makeup line, I have Pretty Girl, and the ITB Wellness. And I think the reason why I have withstood all this time is because I do put a ton of time and effort into it, but I enjoy everything of it, and I like the difference. Like, I still am a working makeup artist. I still go do photo shoots and do TV, and I love that. I love that connection with my clients. They're also interesting and fun, and then I like to write. So every day is different. It's not like I'm stuck in a cubicle just writing or doing business stuff. I need that creative outlet. I need to paint faces. I'm kind of a gypsy. I like to travel and get in the car or get on a plane and go somewhere. So it fits me. And now my children are much older. My youngest is a freshman in college. And so I'm totally free to go do whatever, I need to go do for my career.
That's beautiful. And so, how does your brand, you've got, and I'm going to share your website and your IG in just a moment. How does your brand help your audience to bring them into a mindset of prosperity? I got a thought about that, but I want to hear what you have to say.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what you have to say. I think that I've kind of figured out that I am my brand and my brand is me. So being a celebrity makeup artist helps my brands, and having my brands helps differentiate myself from other makeup artists. There's not a ton of us out there that are still working that have brands. So that's what differentiates, and not a lot of makeup artists are writing for magazines or beauty experts on TV. So I've really just tried to be the best version of myself in all the different aspects. I never in a million years thought I'd be on TV or writing for magazines or any of the things that I do, but I really enjoy all of it. It's fun. And it keeps my mind active. It just keeps and I'm grateful for all of it. I wake up every morning and I'm like, my gosh, I get to go with Zach Posen or Tyler Florence or Cameron Brink or, any Condoleezza Rice. I get to go be with these people and I get paid for it and I love it. So I think a lot of, what you're referring to of being prosperous, it's more about being grateful. I'm incredibly grateful and I love what I do and I love my clients. And so it all just makes it it's like a perfectly wrapped gift, all these different aspects of my career.
Excellent. So when I think of how you help your audience, to me, one of the things that is happening in our society today is women are feeling like they got to be, all these additional things have to be there. But when we start actually motivating them, their beauty comes from within, right? And as I hear you talk, yes, you're into the makeup, you're into the styling and things of that, but I have a feeling that you talk more about how they can be successful when you talk to your entrepreneurs. Am I hitting the nail on the
Oh,
head?
absolutely. No, it is. It's all of those things. I mean, I think as a makeup artist, you're kind of a therapist. So I've been, listening to people for so long. They tell me everything and I don't repeat it. I have lots of
Right.
stories that I don't repeat, and or I wouldn't work again. But I think
Right.
it truly is. I have laughter, I have love in my heart and joy, and it comes across in how I deal with people. And I think, if you're going to be doing a job like this, you have to really like it. It's not all fancy and glamorous and lights. It's sometimes I wake up at ungodly hours getting on a plane or driving in the car to go. I one time had a client in Beverly Hills. I literally had to wake up at midnight to be in her hotel at 1 a.m. to be on camera at 3.
Oh,
So that was like out, like, and I'm not a night owl. I am like early to bed, early to rise. So, sometimes it's like that, and it's long hours. It's a lot of like chop, chop, let's go. And, so you have to like this kind of a life, because it's not normal. My sister has a normal job. She's an executive with Costco, and she's super successful. She knows when she's going to work, when she's off. She knows when she's going on vacation. She knows all these things. I have no idea when or if I'm going to work again, or when I'm going on taking a vacation. It's all very spontaneous, which it's fine, but it's not for everybody. It wouldn't be, it's not something that a lot of makeup artists that are very talented have a challenge, because the reality is we don't get paid the day of. Some days it's 30, 60, 90 days till you get paid. So it's really hard, unless you're working consistently,
right.
to live.
Right.
And so a lot of people, have to get other jobs, and they can't do a photo shoot. I'm very blessed that I have my company. I also teach makeup lessons, which I really love doing. It's fun. And I love teaching. I had a client today that came, and we did a makeup lesson, and she couldn't believe how quick she could, use her own products. I wasn't selling her a bunch of things. I was just showing her how to use her own makeup. We went over skincare, nutrition, supplements, exercise, all these different things that make you a well-rounded, happy person that look good from the inside out. So you have to just kind of figure out how, if you're going to be a working makeup artist, how that's going to work out, because it's kind of complicated sometimes.
That's wonderful. And that's really what the prosperity conversations are about. Giving the audience a different perspective on what they can do, to be happy in life, to be fulfilled, right? Because again, it's not always about money, but I did hear you say you have several irons in the fire when it comes to generating income. Is that right?
I do.
Did I hear that?
I
Yeah.
do.
So I really, and I have a feeling that when you're talking to your clients, because I tell mine all the time, a lot of what we do is very therapeutic, but I am not your therapist.
Exactly.
But I have a feeling that you even when you're just doing makeup, when you're doing hair, when you're doing design, whatever it is you're doing, I hear coaching. I hear coaching, I hear motivation to the entrepreneurs, letting them know that they can do whatever it is they set their mind to. And I just, sometimes you just get that energy. You can pick up on someone's energy. And
Totally.
it's amazing to actually talk with you, have this time with you, and have you share with our audience, because again, that is what the prosperity conversations are about. So I'm going to ask you one last question before we wrap up. If there was someone in the audience looking at you right now saying, what could I do? No, let me rephrase that. What advice would you give them if they were stuck somewhere? If they were stuck
Okay.
mentally,
I
emotionally?
totally.
Mhm.
I think the best advice I can give you, let's say you have a corporate job because you have to live and it's stable. And you really want to be a makeup artist or a florist, or I don't know, whatever it is that, floats your boat. But I think if you could do it part-time, do it after work or the weekends, to do what really brings you joy, maybe that would be enough for you to just feel satisfied with your corporate job if you have a little of that. If you get really lucky and work really hard, perhaps you could transition from your corporate job to the job that really brings you joy and happiness. So you have to figure out, it's not something like, I don't tell anyone, quit your job and just, start being an entrepreneur. It's not realistic.
Right.
And that's a lot of
Right.
pressure. Unless you have someone in your life that, a husband or a wife that, has a normal job that's steady. So I think if you
Right.
could just figure out how you can get a little bit of joy from another job, and maybe it'll be so successful that you can actually just transition from one job to the other. But until then, at least you get a little bit of both, and you don't feel like you're so stuck. And there's no such thing. To me, failure is just not executing. Failure is just sitting there complaining over and over the same story over. No one wants to hear you. If you don't like it, change it. You are the only one that can change how you live. So make one little change. Just try and be 1% better every day. And I think you will have a lot of joy in your life. And if, I just think when people complain about their work, where they live, their relationship, and not do anything about it, that is the failure. 100%. And if you don't want that life, change it. No one owes you anything, and no one's going to change it for you. You have to just take one little step. It'll lead to the next thing. And sitting there worrying like, oh, what if, all that worrying is the biggest waste of time. Put all that energy into figuring out how to make it work. What if failure wasn't an option? What if it couldn't happen? What would happen then? So if you're just focused on the positive and how you want it to turn out, that is what will happen. It will, whatever you focus on is what's going to happen. If you focus on the negative and failure, that's what the universe thinks you want. So be very mindful of what you say and what you think, because your mind is so powerful. It will do whatever you tell it to do.
I love that. I love that. I love that. And thank you so much, Christina,
Oh,
for being
thank
a part of
you.
Prosperity Conversations and for sharing your journey with us. I absolutely and wholeheartedly agree that prosperity isn't about some things that we chase. It's the things that we choose, it's the things that we do daily so that we can improve how we live, how we give, and how we grow. And to everyone watching, if this conversation inspired you, I'd love to hear your story. And I want you to apply to share your voice so that we can talk about you and bring you forward at the April 2026 Prosperity Summit. So, right now, everybody give Christina a round of applause for being here with us tonight, today, or whenever it is that you guys see this actual presentation. I love when our guests come forward and talk about how they inspire our community. And Christina, again, thank you so much. And I will catch you guys on the next episode of Prosperity Conversations. Have a good night.